they're specialists in that area, and they work around that sort of stuff. So a guy I'm thinking of is Thomas Fuchs, who does a whole bunch of JavaScript. So he built an open source library called Scriptalicious, but now he gets hired all over the world to do stuff, and these are the guys I talked about with Pepsi. Pepsi hired him to do a very special event with South by Southwest convention. So this great JavaScript site that did there. So he only does very, very big jobs, but he built something that people really want, and then they said, hey, it does this much, can it go a little bit more? Right? So he got known in that area. So it's really important that if you want to be a consultant, you want to build something that people want. Right, now I want to switch to startup or early startup employee. Well, the key skills is more so than anywhere else, you need to be a little bit more multi-skilled. What you'll find in a startup is that a job description doesn't really exist, that you could get thrown at anything. Right? There are different things that you can get thrown to you may not realise. So it could be answering emails or doing web work, and then you're doing database work or something else. It's whatever the need at that particular time tends to come. Right? So you find that being multi-skilled is actually an advantage. They don't tend to have so many specialists in a lot of smaller startups. Flexible. Because of that multi-skilled, often things that you can do, and this does happen elsewhere in other types of jobs, you can do a whole bunch of work and it might not ever get completed because something else more important comes along and you have to do that. So I know in my business I've had some of my guys say, oh, it's been great, but I didn't quite finish that one thing that I was supposed to do. So, well, this was more important, you had to do that. You know? So you need to be flexible and understand that sometimes you can't always get things done. Career development, a lot of it's on the job. So you learn as you go. A lot of the skills are going to be done as part of training of doing stuff, right? More so than the others. So if you think about it as an employee, a lot of time is spent on the job or in training. A contractor, you expect to know skills, so it's on yourself. It's like, right, got that, need to do it, go and learn it. Alright? So it's quite different. Benefits. Well, sometimes you get to be involved in something good or something epic. So this is the shot of the Google guys in the garage. This is in 1998. Some tips to get ahead. Well, in a startup, I think you need to have a thick skin, even if you're just an employee, because stuff goes wrong all the time. Okay? This goes with the next one. Learning how to fail fast. Alright? People make mistakes. You've got to move on and do that. So failing fast is something that us Kiwis find really, really hard. Because we're not so good at failing. We don't like failing. We don't like what other people might think of us when we fail. It's really, really difficult. There's actually there's an article about that particular problem in the Dominion Post this morning about failing, entrepreneurs and failing fast. But absolutely, these two go together. I mean, they say that Edison, when he was trying to make the light bulb, failed something like 10,000 times or 1,000 times, and he said, oh, it was just 1,000 times just to get it right. He didn't give up. He knew that he would get there at the end. And that's the thing with a startup. Things go wrong or don't go quite as planned, but it's learning from them and figuring out what you can do with it. Alright, so you've got to deal with those sort of things. Right, so this sort of to sum up, the career game has rules, learn from them. So how do we do that? Well, there's a few more pieces of advice. One is look for a good working environment. So what do I mean by that? Well, understand is if you're a programmer, you need to understand how software development works. Alright? So you need to understand how you can do your job better. So how can you make that better as a process? Understand how your company, where you're working, does software development. What is their process? How do I fit into that? How do I integrate it into their software process? Really, really important. So you want to look for places that have very solid software practices. Second, you want to understand, as I said before, business process. Right? So whether it's a startup or other businesses, you need to understand how that works. All right? Because that's really, really important in getting ahead, that you need to understand where you fit. All right? Find good people to work with. All right? If you think about how you can succeed, you need to have a good work environment. You need to have good technical skills, or a place where your technical skills are going to be valued and you can grow your technical skills. But more importantly, it's about people. All right? You've got to go to a place that the people that are there are going to be able to help you grow your career. You know, so your personal talent, your personal abilities. All right? So what people sort of forget is, oh yeah, I'm working for company X. All right? Well, you know, go to a place where the people in the area that you're interested in are known to be good, right? So hopefully some of that stuff rubs off by osmosis, right? But you get into a very, very good environment. Find a mentor, all right? You need someone who's going to be your Yoda. You can go and ask them questions, all right? There are a lot of people in Wellington that don't mind having, you know, taking them out for coffee. Buy them coffee. Say, hey, like you know, I'm interested in finding out more about career and what I should do and what my options are, or you know, learning about the software industry or whatever it is. Go and find a mentor, someone to help you. It's very, very important. The second part of this is participate in networks. Alright, so Wellington, this has come back from my responses. Pretty much most of the good jobs come from people, not through recruitment agencies. Right? People sort of think, oh, you know, put a response into a job on Trade Me or Seek or whatever, and I'm going to get a good job, right? Bollocks. We were at an event last week called Wellington to the World, and there was next day there was a career event called Digital Careers Expo, where Mickey Sixside from Snapper, who upstairs, one floor, he said, we're not hiring, but we are hiring. Right? If somebody's interested and passionate, and here's some bunch of stuff that we do, if you're interested in this stuff, come and talk to us. So he's basically saying, we're hiring, but we're not hiring. Right? Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Right? But that's the reality. There's quite a number of companies that are looking for people, but they're not going out publicly. Right? So in other words, someone who's interested and has passion, who's interested in a particular area, come to them and say, hey, I heard you all talk, I'm really interested in that. Can we have a coffee? And they'll go, absolutely. No, he's actively hiring, but he's not going out because it's too much effort. They want somebody to come to them. Alright? So you need to be able to know this stuff by participating in networks. So I say this every year, you must start participating in social networks, especially the career-based ones. So LinkedIn's the prominent one in this area. I don't do it a lot, but I know a lot of people who do. There are forums in LinkedIn. Alright, people posting up jobs and all sorts of stuff. A lot of people interact in LinkedIn a lot, right? Especially those who do consulting, you find them active in there a lot. So this is one of the areas you need to understand. So if you want to get in touch with, hey, I really want to work, well, you might be able to go to Clegg directly, but you need to go and say, well, who do I know that knows Clegg? Right? And you can try and figure that out. And LinkedIn will tell you. It'll say you are so many connections away from this particular person, right? So it's really, really important to know that. Second is get involved in the user groups. Okay, so this is, I found this through Google, but apparently this is the .NET user group. User groups are really awesome because here you've got people who are passionate about a particular language or database or a particular skill, and they like helping people. So they want more people to notice this. It's like a cult, right? So they want more people to get involved in it because they want it to spread. They want that knowledge to go out there, right? So if you participate in those groups, you can actually get that knowledge a lot faster. Google does not have all that. I often tell all the guys that do stuff with us, if you're looking for stuff on Ruby, go to the group, ask the question. Someone will give you an answer. It's very, very important. We've done a lot of work with UPS. So does anyone not know what UP is?